Trigger warning. Ghosts, ghouls, and gruesome stuff ahead. It's weird. It's dark. It's your kind of vibe. Welcome to Haunted and Homicidal, the podcast where true crime meets the paranormal. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Courtney. Every week we uncover the terrifying, the twisted, and the totally unexplainable. Lock your doors and grab your sage.
Because things are about to get haunted and homicidal. Hey guys.
What's up?
So, we can finally...
We have news!
We can finally announce what we have been teasing for the past couple of weeks. We have joined teams with HauntFest, like this really cool event. They have movies, they have trivia, it's all Halloween.
They have rage rooms.
They have rage rooms, they have bouncy houses. It's a good time. So check those out whenever you get an opportunity. And now
a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys.
What's up?
We are going to talk to you about something called HauntFest. Super excited. We are partnering with them for all of their little events. So, HauntFest is crawling back from the darkness, bringing more mayhem, monsters, and madness each year.
Step through the gates and into a fully immersive world of horror art, live music, spooky vendors, themed entertainment, and eerie activities lurking around every corner. Depending on the event, you may find axe throwing, trivia, animal encounters, rage rooms.
Ooh.
I need to do a rage room. Photo ops, food and drink, ghost stories, freak shows, hay rides, haunted attractions, and more. Some locations even feature camping, after-hour parties, and other exclusive surprises.
Our characters, awesome name by the way, that is so cute.
I know, right?
Roam the grounds hunting for fresh screams. If you're easily spooked, grab a Ghoul Gone Glow bracelet at the gate to help keep the beasts at bay. Which is cute. You know, people have like autism and stuff and or kids are scared. I love that they do stuff like that.
My old roommate wanted one for when we went to Terror on the Coast.
Nice. So yeah, HauntFest, they're taking everybody into consideration. Pre-sale tickets start at a killer price. For the full nightmare experience, upgrade to the RIP Pass for exclusive perks. Season passes are now also available, granting access to any HauntFest event throughout the whole entire year.
Whether you're a thrill seeker, a horror fanatic, an Addams Family, or simply dead inside.
That's me.
Like Lauren. HauntFest is where Halloween never dies.
This is my jam.
Slip on your monster skins and join us for a weekend of scares, screams, and unforgettable memories.
Join HauntFest at the 2026 premiere of Death March at Trim Tab Brewing Company in Birmingham, Alabama. The thrills begin at 2 p.m. on March 7th and 8th, with the event ending at midnight on Saturday and 8 p.m. on Sunday.
And then HauntFest is back for its 4th annual Athens, Georgia event, April Ghouls, at Terrapin Beer Company on April 11th and 12th, 2026 at 2 p.m. Throw on a costume and boogie at our new Dead Man's Party from 10 p.m. to midnight on Saturday.
I'm loving all these names.
I know, right?
HauntFest returns to historic Hopkins Farm in Simpsonville, South Carolina for a September to Dismember on September 25th and 26th from 5 p.m. to midnight on Friday and 2 p.m. to midnight on Saturday. Hopkins Haunted Attraction will feature a sneak peek walkthrough haunt for the event, which will open at 7:30 p.m. each night and is included in your festival entry ticket. A September to Dismember will be a full-fledged weekend festival with vendors, live music, themed entertainment, and much more. Prepare for a dead man's party.
This November, join us for some post-Halloween thrills at the premiere of HauntFest Harvest of Horrors at Bobby Brown Park in Elberton, Georgia. The magic begins at 5 p.m. on the 6th and 2 p.m. on the 7th, continuing until the clock strikes midnight. Camping, yurts, movie screenings, bouncy houses, and more are offered at this venue. If you're a raging psychopath,
I am.
Sign up to sleep in our Night Terrors camping area where our ghouls can creep around your tent after hours until 2 a.m. on Sunday morning.
That sounds so fun, guys.
To take a first look at the venue, come to our free On the Water Sink or Swim horror movie promo event on July 25th. For more information, to get involved, or to buy tickets, visit hauntfest.net.
Guys, do it. Okay, love you. Bye.
Do it.
Doesn't that sound awesome, guys?
I want to go.
I know. I want to go so bad. Wonder, maybe we can get like, oh no, the Birmingham one's going to be too soon. I don't know. Maybe 1 year. But it looks super fun. I would, it's definitely my vibe up my alley.
I want to do a rage room so bad.
They got them here.
I know. I'm just saying I'm going to do a rage room.
I know. I do too. I've got so much rage.
So much rage.
I have so many rage.
I definitely have rage.
It's a lot of rage.
This might be a short week, everybody. We apologize.
It is going to be short. Our stories are very short, but that is okay.
We figure we'll throw in some short ones since we give you all some long ones.
Yeah, we do give you guys some long ones sometimes. But also, I have been sick for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, my friends were sick for like a month.
Yeah, well, we had the flu. Mm-hmm. And so I was getting over that. And then, bam, I got strep. So we didn't record last week because, number 1, I didn't have a voice. Number 2, I was contagious. And number 3...
Yeah, I'm not getting sick.
I didn't feel good. So I'm still recovering from that.
Did you grab the pillows?
Yeah, they're on the couch.
Okay. I don't even know.
Yeah, they're on the couch. So I'm recovering from that. So we didn't record last week. So
take the price tags off?
Did
you take the price tags off?
No, I just put them on the couch. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. So this week I have a kidnapping.
Me too.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't know how we managed to do that. Every time.
I don't either.
All right, so we're going to talk about the kidnapping of Kamiyah Mobley. This one is fucking wild. So tighten your belt because your pants are going to fall off with how crazy this is.
Good thing I'm wearing leggings. Don't need a belt.
Yeah. I'm wearing shorts, so I don't need a belt either. I'm in my pajamas. I don't get dressed in the morning. I don't care. I would wear pajamas everywhere if I could. Well, I mean, I can, but like I won't. Anyway. So the story of Kamiyah Mobley begins in a hospital room in Jacksonville, Florida.
So the baby didn't even make it home?
Because Florida. In the summer of 1998, but the emotional roots of the case begin earlier with 2 teenagers about to become parents. So her mom and her dad.
Okay.
Shannara Starr Mobley was 16 years old when she went into labor on July 10th, 1998 at University Medical Center. She was young, nervous, and exhausted. I mean, can you imagine 16 and having to deal with the things of pregnancy? You're still a baby yourself.
Yeah.
And pregnancy is hard. But despite all of that, she was excited about her baby girl. So she was really excited to become a mom, even at the age of 16. Her boyfriend, Craig Aiken, was 19 and incarcerated at the time on drug-related charges, meaning Shannara was facing childbirth largely without him present. Unfortunately, at 16, that's probably the case, whether or not the dad's incarcerated, because 16, even 19-year-old boys, they're not ready. I mean, females aren't ready, but we have like a different instinct, a maternal instinct that, just men don't have. So we tend to be more ready despite the age. But despite those difficult circumstances, her family members were very involved and very supportive, and the birth itself went normally. So she had a good support system. And a lot of time you don't hear that.
Yeah.
You hear 16, 17-year-olds getting pregnant and their parents freaking out and kicking them out of the house, and then they have to turn to like sex work. And thankfully, this was not the case here. At approximately 2:40 a.m., Shannara delivered a healthy baby girl. She named her Kamiyah. For the next several hours, things seemed routine. Nurses came and went. Hospital staff checked vital signs. Shannara held her newborn daughter, beginning the fragile process of bonding that happens in those first hours after birth. If you're a mom, those couple hours are crucial. Then, sometime later in the morning, a woman entered the hospital room wearing scrubs and presenting herself as hospital staff. She did not rush. Instead, she sat with Shannara, spoke calmly, and helped her care for the newborn. This interaction reportedly lasted a significant amount of time, long enough for Shannara to feel comfortable and trust her presence. and that trust would prove critical.
Oh, no.
Eventually, the woman told Shannara the baby needed to be taken for testing because of a fever. Shannara handed her newborn daughter to the woman. The woman walked out of the hospital room carrying Kamiyah and never returned.
What the fuck?
The moment Shannara realized something was wrong, panic spread quickly. Hospital staff were alerted, security began searching the building, and law enforcement was called. The hospital was effectively locked down. But the delay, even if brief, mattered because the abductor had already left the building.
Oh, no.
With the baby.
No.
Yeah. Like, baby, a couple hours old. Didn't even make it home. Investigators soon determined that the woman had not been a hospital employee at all. Witnesses described her as wearing scrubs with a floral patterned smock, blending in with medical staff in a busy maternity ward where new faces were not unusual. That's fucking wild to me. Hopefully they have better protocols in 2026 than they did in 1998, but that is fucking wild that this woman could just walk into a maternity ward dressed like a nurse and nobody questioned it.
Probably been like, are you new? Who are you? What are you doing? I don't recognize you.
Like, nobody questioned it.
Know your staff, people. My God.
Right. Security footage was limited in 1998 compared to modern hospital systems, so cameras were few, the resolution was poor, and identification of the suspect was difficult. Detectives canvassed the hospital, interviewed staff, and gathered descriptions from anyone who may have seen the woman. And the investigation at that time escalated immediately. So the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office launched a full missing child response just within hours of the report. You know, once they canvassed the hospital to see if maybe they were in like a separate wing or something, they couldn't find them. The FBI joined the investigation the same day. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children issued alerts across the country. A composite sketch of the suspect was created. A detective later recalled, "We were chasing anything that looked even remotely possible. Airports, bus stations, and major highways were monitored. Hospitals in surrounding counties were warned to watch for women appearing with newborns without medical documentation." So officers interviewed every hospital employee on duty, patients in nearby rooms, visitors seen entering or leaving the maternity ward, and taxi drivers and bus operators in the area. So that's smart. Like, if this woman took the baby on the bus, like, they'd be like, hey, did you see somebody in here with like a brand new baby? Just to kind of get like the direction they were going. Yeah. Everything kind of was a dead end. Investigators determined the suspect likely exited through a public entrance without being questioned. They said she walked out like she belonged there.
Does it say like if she targeted her or she just like went to someone who had a baby?
We'll get there. Okay. In the weeks that followed, detectives pursued hundreds then thousands of leads. They focused on women who had recently miscarried, falsely claimed to be pregnant, attempted illegal adoptions, or suddenly appeared with a newborn. Welfare applications and social security registrations were cross-checked. Adoption agencies were contacted. Hospitals nationwide were alerted. So at this time, the police were not sure if the baby was stolen by a grieving mother who lost a child or had an abortion or had a miscarriage, or if the child was stolen to be sold, you know, to an adoption agency or to be trafficked. They didn't know. They had nothing to go on other than a grainy picture of a woman with the baby, right?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, none of it led to Kamiyah. As weeks turned into months, the emergency phase shifted into long-term investigation. Age-progressed photos were released periodically as Kamiyah grew older. So, like, they never... At this point, they didn't find her. They had no leads. The case remained open, never classified as closed or inactive. So they kept it open because it was still considered an active investigation. A detector later described it as cold but breathing. So it wasn't a priority anymore, but it wasn't completely closed. That's what that means, like cold but breathing. Okay. So it wasn't closed. It wasn't a cold case, but it was kind of a cold case. But people were still checking into it periodically. Meanwhile, Shannara Mobley continued her annual ritual, baking a birthday cake every year and saving a slice in the freezer in case her daughter ever came home.
Aww.
Meanwhile, in Walterboro, South Carolina, Kamiyah Mobley was growing up under a different name. The woman who kidnapped kidnapped her was Gloria Bolden Williams. Before the abduction, Williams had struggled financially and had prior arrests related to fraud and bad checks. There were later reports that she may have experienced pregnancy loss around the time of the kidnapping, though no definitive motive was ever established in court. After taking the baby, Williams renamed her Alexis Kelly Mangio and began raising her as her own child. For 18 years.
The fuck?
This sounds like a J.C. Dugard kind of situation here.
What the hell?
Except Kamiyah was not abused in any way.
Yeah.
Williams enrolled Kamiyah in school using forged documentation, including a fraudulent birth certificate and a social security number belonging to a deceased individual. To neighbors, teachers, and friends, nothing appeared unusual. Kamiyah went to school. She made friends. She grew up believing Gloria Williams was her biological mother, because why wouldn't she?
But if you don't look like her, like...
I mean, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. I mean, there are kids who don't really resemble their parents that much, but resemble maybe someone like further down the family line, like a brother or a niece or nephew of that parent. So, I mean, they probably looked enough alike. There were no reports of abuse. She was not being held, quote unquote, captive because she didn't know. Like, it wasn't really against her will because she thought that was her mom. She had no reason to believe otherwise. I mean, she was being raised. Yeah. You know, she was happy, healthy, friendly, very smart, you know. So she wasn't being mistreated or anything. This woman stepped into that role, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because, you know, she did lose that pregnancy. She was a grieving mom. Yeah. Depression, you know. So to a point, I get it. Like, don't steal other people's kids, but, like, I get it. As Kamiyah approached adulthood, paperwork became a problem. She needed identification for employment and a driver's license. And, of course, Gloria could not provide the legitimate records.
Of course not.
Eventually, she told Kamiyah the truth, that she had been kidnapped as a newborn. Kamiyah was like, the fuck?
That messes up somebody.
Can you imagine?
Because, like, you grew up thinking this one, like, this is your family, like, this is your mom.
And then she's like, just kidding, I kidnapped you. Like, you have a whole other family somewhere else.
It's like, the fuck?
So Kamiyah was like, the fuck? And confided in her friend. And then that friend, smartly enough, contacted the National Center for Missing and Exploiting Children. Very good friend. And suddenly, that 18-year-old cold case reopened. Detectives traveled to South Carolina quietly. They verified Alexis Mangio's background and arranged a DNA test. When results confirmed the match, investigators knew that they had found Kamiyah Mobley. A sheriff later said, "This is the case we never stopped working." Again, cold but breathing. On January 13 of 2017, so not even 10 years ago, this has been just 9 years ago, Gloria was arrested without incident after nearly 2 decades, because remember, Kamiyah's 18 now. The case was solved. Kamiyah met her biological parents shortly after confirmation, so she met her mom and her dad, who I assume was no longer incarcerated. The meeting was emotional and carefully managed. Her father later described it as beautiful. It was wonderful. Aww. But Kamiyah still loved the woman who raised her.
Of course. You 18 years thinking this woman's your mom.
And she wasn't, like, raised horribly to where she had, like, any kind of negative feelings. So she had to have been so conflicted, so torn. So two truths existed at once. She loved her kidnapper, but she was also starting to build a relationship with her biological parents. Yeah. So during court hearings, the emotional complexity became public. Kamiyah attended and remained supportive of Gloria Williams. At one appearance, she reportedly told Williams, "I love you, Mom." Like, I can't, breaks my heart.
Poor girl.
Shannara Mobley addressed the court as well, describing the pain of missing 18 years of milestones, first steps, birthdays, graduations. But in 2018, Gloria Williams pled guilty like she had any other option.
I know, like, you did it, but you did it.
Yeah. At sentencing, the judge stated that although Williams had raised Kamiyah, she had taken 18 years from another family. Williams received an 18-year prison sentence, day for day, year for year. Kamiyah asked the court for leniency because She had empathy. She's a good kid. Shannara Mobley later received a $1.5 million settlement related to the hospital security failures, which she fucking should. Kamiyah started rebuilding her identity, reconnecting with her biological family while maintaining emotional ties to Gloria. There was no simple resolution, no clean ending. Only a young woman forced to reconcile with two mothers, two histories, and a truth that rewrote everything she thought she knew about herself. This poor girl, at 18 years old, finding herself, trying to figure out life, gets punched in the gut and told, just kidding.
Just kidding. I'm not your mom.
Yeah,
you've been kidnapped.
Just kidding. Good luck trying to figure shit out now. You know, and it's got to be a fucking mind fuck because everything she thought she knew, the family she thought she had, you know, what happens now? Do those people that know she was kidnapped, that became so close to her, all of a sudden, are they not allowed to be close to her anymore?
Exactly.
Like, what do they do? Do they try to just be one big happy family? Because for 18 years, this is all this girl knew. And obviously she wants a relationship, you know, and know her real family who never stopped looking for her. I couldn't imagine being in her shoes. There's just no fucking way.
It's crazy.
It's wild. I told y'all, this was a wild ride.
So I have the kidnapping and murder of
Oh.
Jacob Wetterling.
Okay.
Oh, keep hitting the fucking table. So Sunday, October 22nd, 1989, just after 9 p.m., Jacob Wetterling, who was 11,
Oh.
his younger brother Trevor, who was 10, and a friend Aaron Larson, who was also 11, were biking home from a convenience store in St. Joseph, Minnesota, where they had gone to rent a video.
Minnesota.
Danny.
Rent a video. Oh, God. Okay. I remember those days. Jesus.
Danny Henrik, wearing a stocking cap mask and armed with an unloaded revolver, came out of a driveway and ordered the boys to throw their bikes into a ditch and lay face down on the ground. He then asked each boy how old they were. Jacob's brother was told to run toward a nearby wooded area and not look back or else he would be shot. Henrik then demanded to view the faces of the two remaining boys. He picked Jacob and told Aaron to run away, threatening him as he had Jacob's brother. This was the last time Jacob was seen alive by anyone other than his murderer.
What the fuck?
Yeah. In the aftermath of Jacob Wetterling's disappearance on October 22nd, 1989, a massive search effort was launched involving local police, the FBI, and the National Guard.
We can just use his first name if you're struggling with the last name. We know who Jacob is.
Despite rapid response and widespread community involvement, including the creation of Friends of Jacob Wetterling Center and thousands of tips, the case remained unsolved for nearly 3 decades.
Oh my God. So, like, recently solved. If this was in 88, that's 30 plus years later.
Oh my God. Investigators initially questioned Danny Henrik, a local man, but lacked sufficient evidence to charge him at the time.
I'm not even going to say it.
They even questioned him because they didn't have any evidence of, like, who did it. They couldn't link it to Danny.
I'm not even going to say it. No, the evidence is probably there. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not. I can't. I'm going to say it. These motherfuckers. Do your goddamn job.
On January 13th, 1989, roughly 9 months before Jacob's abduction, 12-year-old Jared was kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and physically threatened by an unknown adult man in Cold Spring, Minnesota. Minnesota. The victim's statement given on that night showed the modus operandi was similar to that of the Jacob case. The perpetrator, who is later identified as Henrik, used a gun and upon releasing the boy, told him to run and not look back or else he would be shot. That incident occurred 10 miles from where he would later stop the brothers and their friend.
So, when it says later identified as him, was this before Jacob's murder or like after?
They identified Henrik after when they finally caught him.
Okay, so it wasn't prior to Jacob's murder.
No, because this happened 9 months before Jacob.
But they didn't know who that was.
They didn't know who it was.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, if they knew who the fuck it was.
No, they didn't know who it was.
Gotcha. So later when they finally caught him, they
Yes.
backdated. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. In May 2014, investigators confirmed that they were taking another look at a series of attempted and actual child molestation that had occurred in the Paynesville area in the 2 years preceding the Jacob abduction. Okay. Between the summer of 1986 and the spring of 1987, 5 teenage boys were attacked, but no one was arrested.
What the fuck?
The authorities interviewed some of the victims again and worked with an amateur investigator named Joe Baker, who had brought the information to light. After months of research and interviews with some of the victims, investigators believe that these attacks were not random and that the culprit could be connected to the abduction of Jacob, which occurred just 40 minutes from the other crime scenes.
So he was operating in like a very small area.
Pretty much. Danny, James, Hendrik, the son of a bitch.
Motherfucker.
In October 2015... Danny was publicly named as a person of interest in Jacob's disappearance. He had been questioned by the FBI on December 16, 1989, and a DNA sample was taken, but he was not charged with a crime and was released. In 2015, Hendrik's DNA was matched to the DNA taken in the case of Jared. I'm not to butcher his last name. Of Jared Shirel. I apologize. Who was abducted in nearby Cold Spring in January 1989 at the age of 12.
They know who we are by now. They know we can't speak.
The statute of limitations had expired for the Cold Spring kidnapping, meaning Hendrik could not be arrested and charged with that crime. A search warrant was issued and a child sexual abuse materials found in his home, leading to his arrest on October 28, 2015. He decided to cooperate with authorities as part of a plea bargain, and on September 1st, 2016, led investigators to a burial site.
10 years ago.
Jacob's clothing and human remains were unearthed from a pasture near Paynesville, about 30 miles away from Jacob's home and abduction site, and a short distance from where Hendrik was living in 1989. On September 3rd, the remains were confirmed through dental records to be Jacob's. His mother, Patty, told television station KARE 11, a local NBC affiliate, that the remains found were indeed Jacob's. She said, and I quote, "All I can confirm is that Jacob has been found and our hearts are broken. I am not responding to any media yet as I have no words." In the plea agreement, Hendrik agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of the 25 federal child pornography charges brought against him.
Jesus fucking Christ. 1 count of 25? Bitch.
In addition to revealing the location of the body and pleading guilty, he also agreed to testify as to the details of the Jacob crime. At a hearing before Judge John Tunheim of the U.S. District of Minnesota, Hendrik testified that he kidnapped and handcuffed the boy, drove him to a gravel pit near Paynesville, molested him, killed him, and buried his body.
And was this the only murder? Like, the other boys were
the other ones,
kidnapped and molested.
The others were kidnapped, molested, ran away. He actually killed him.
But did he say why?
Nope.
Okay.
Hendrik said that he was able to avoid police that night by listening to a police scanner.
Of course.
He said that he came back to the site a year later and moved the body after noticing that Jacob's jacket had been exposed. During the court hearing, Hendrik also admitted to kidnapping and sexually assaulting Jared earlier that year. In exchange for his plea, the prosecutors agreed to not charge him with Jacob's murder. In accordance... What? Yes.
No, I'm angry. Continue.
In accordance with the plea agreement, Hendrik was sentenced to the maximum prison term of 20 years for the child pornography charge.
Bruh. Minnesota, I need you to get it the fuck together.
In addition, the plea deal will allow state authorities to seek his civil commitment as a sexual predator at the end of his federal prison term, which could prevent him from ever going free. In sentencing Hendrik, George Tunheim said, quote, "We won't pretend that this crime and sentence is about child pornography. It is also about changing the lives of so many children and parents who prayed for Jacob's return and also feared you coming out of the dark. Every child knows the story of Jacob Wetterling. He stole the innocence of children in small towns in the cities of Minnesota and beyond."
But you're not going to charge him with fucking murder, which is the most heinous act he committed. Yes, it's horrible that he molested children, but he fucking killed one. Mm-hmm. Why? Oh my God. And this wasn't in the 80s that he was convicted.
Nope.
This was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Minnesota, get it the fuck together. That man should be castrated and left to bleed out. Just like any other person who is in jail for child pornography. Just like anybody who is in the fucking Epstein files. Castrate them. Leave them to bleed out. Fuck ICE. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Although Heinrich could be released in 17 years from the start of his prison sentence, Judge Thunheim told him that it was unlikely, as, quote, this crime is so heinous, so brutal, and awful that it's unlikely society will ever let you go free. In January 2017, Heinrich was transferred to Federal Medical Center Devens, a federal prison in Massachusetts, to serve his 20-year sentence. So then 4 months after Jacob's abduction, his parents, Jerry and Patty, formed the Jacob Wetterling Foundation, an advocacy group for children's safety. In 1994, the federal Jacob Wetterling Act was passed and named for Jacob. It was the first law to institute a state sex offender registry. The law has been amended several times, but most famously by Megan's Law in 1996 and the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act in 2006.
We talked about him, yeah.
We did.
We covered Adam Walsh.
We did. In 2008, the foundation, started by Jacob's parents, became the Jacob Wetterling Resource Center. It carries on the work started by the family to educate the public about who takes children, how they do it, and what each of us can do to stop it. The Bridge of Hope, a crossing of the Mississippi River near St. Cloud, is named in Jacob's honor. And then after the arrest of Heinrich, media reported that according to a friend of the family, both Heinrich and his brother were themselves sexually abused as children by a man then dating their mother, later convicted sex offender Dewan Hart.
Jesus Christ.
Hart has been described as a man who, quote, would come along if you were a single woman with kids, pretend he likes you, and that would be it.
So he was after kids. He didn't care about the adult.
Yeah, he was after kids.
My stomach is fucking turning right now. Like, I'm gonna throw up.
Don't do it.
I don't like these fucking stories. I hate.
Hart, in turn, had implicated Heinrich as early as 1991 regarding the Wetterling case, when he told investigators that Heinrich had asked him how to dispose of a body.
What the fuck?
And that he has seen suspicious objects at his home. The information was apparently not followed up on at that time.
Yup. I'm done. I quit. I can't do this anymore. It's too much. It is too much. Y'all, look.
Well, that's it.
Do not ever fucking question me about detectives or police work ever the fuck again. We would not be here doing what we do if the police fucking did their goddamn job the first time. I am... What?
Yep.
At least mine had a happy ending.
Mine did not.
Oh my god.
And it pissed Lauren off.
Was even more unhappy because not only was this boy raped and murdered, this man could have been caught 30 years prior to when he was caught. And he would be dead by now.
Yep.
Because he would be in prison.
Yep.
I hope he is in Gen Pop. I hope he is getting his knees broken every fucking day. And I hope he is getting broomsticked every hour.
Mm-hmm.
He does not deserve peace. Does not fucking deserve peace.
Nope.
Oh, God. Sorry, guys. Like me. Okay. They suck. I know. I hate it, but it's important to know about stories like this, you know, because like his parents made that program or whatever, the research program, whatever it is, to help identify the types of people who do this kind of stuff. And that is super fucking important. You cannot let your guard down. You cannot just, you know, if you have kids and you're in the dating scene, do not introduce those kids to that person that quickly.
Nope.
Don't vet them. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because you can't trust people these
If they
days.
ask you multiple questions about your kid, run.
Yeah. I mean, because, yeah, it could be, they're trying to get to know me. They're trying to get to know my kids. But always do it with the understanding that their intentions may not be good. Period. Anyway, please go visit HauntFest.
Yes.
Their website. Check it out. Go see their shows. It's going to be a good time.
HauntFest.net.
Good time. Also with that, you can see us on Facebook, facebook.com/haunted and homicidal. Our Patreon, subscribe, give us some money. Patreon.com/haunted and homicidal. And then always you can email us at gmail.com hauntedandhomicidal@gmail.com. Love to hear some recommendations from you guys, suggestions, any kind of stories that you guys have. We would really like to do a listener episode, where you write in and let us know. But as always, thank you guys for listening. Love you. Bye.
Bye.